bit of getting used to because it's such a light car, and the engine, although it's in the middle of the car, is obviously the most part of the weight. A bit like driving a Porsche, really, except it's not hung right out over the back wheels. I love them a bit. Done a bit of driving in them in the UK, and with slick tyres on, this is a real weapon. And through the twisties, as you see now, it's a narrow car. It's easy to place, good visibility going forward at least, and I would think that's a great weapon up here.
How is the diffuser on that? That is fantastic. Get a load of it. It looks great out there, and obviously it really does help the aerodynamics of the car. Oh, yellow flags to the top at McPhillamy. What's going on here? Is there a car on the gravel track?
Would normally be what we would have. Oh,
there it is.
Big incident off to driver's right just before the entrance to Skyline, and down through the S's. The marks in gravel trap tell their own story.
To the left-hand side.
Is that
the track?
I think that's the VIP pet. No, it's not. It's the 88. It's the 88 again. The Ferrari. That was John Bow, and indeed it's still John Bow, and he's bounced off the wall.
Has he got a flat tyre? The door's open. So
I think he's bounced off the wall there. That's 120 mile an hour. The right rear is gone on that car. There's no tyre on it, and it's deranged. The driver's door is open. I think John has vacated as quick as he could if he's been able to get out of that car. Safety car has been called for, but that looks like a huge incident there for John Bow, who's gone straight on just before the Peugeot RCZ bridge, right beside the Castrol Tower at the very highest point of the Mount Panorama 6.1 kilometre circuit. And for my money, I think, Mark, there he's probably bounced straight back out onto the road on driver's right.
Now, I'm not sure what happened there. There was a white flag following that incident, so there may have been another car involved. We wait and see if there are any slower vehicles moving down the mountain, but such a great shame. John Bow, twice winner of the Bathurst 1000 and a winner of this very race a couple of years ago, and he is not going to be a finisher here today.
The officials are walking over. The intervention car is already there. Bow is still in the car. The door is open. It may have been popped open by the impact, and already the medical crew are there. Great stuff again by the officials, and John sensibly, I think, waiting until he knew that everything was neutralised before he tried to get out of the car, which he has done without assistance, I should say, straight away. Bit of a worrying moment there to see that door flung open, but John not hanging around. But he's there, he's fine, he's talking to the doctors at least. Now there is the slow moving Seat that Mark was talking about. This is the 56 car.
Front left on that looks like got a problem. Is it a flat tyre? The car is covered in dust, so he's been involved with it. So look at the marks there on the right front.
On the right front. It's either a flat or he's got an upright problem, I think, there, Mark. I'm not sure which one it is. Seems to be going a bit quick to have had a deflation, but it is, if we look at the evidence, there's dust and a lot of it on that car.
You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to realise something's going on here.
So once again, full course caution comes out. Does it benefit anybody? Paul Trustwell, we've just had pit stops, so not really.
No, but number one Audi has chosen to come in, and of course that car was in only 5 laps previously. So a strategy call from Johan Kristoffersson or his team, the Phoenix Racing Audi, coming into the pits having only done 5 laps. Everybody else in the lead group has stayed out. The VIP Pet Foods car, Matt Kingsley, is coming into the pits though. He's kind of, say, in a class of his own. He's kind of stuck a lap behind the leading group, but a lap ahead of anybody else. So he's kind of in a nowhere position in a nice possible way. But to answer your question, who's gained out of this? I think the car that has gained the most is the number 63 Mercedes, which, remember, was slightly off the schedule. It had more fuel aboard, but as a result of that, it's fallen right back. Now, it's going to be able to catch up over a minute behind, and it's going to be able to catch that minute up. And the other thing who's going to benefit from this is, I'll rephrase that, the person who's going to lose out on this is going to be the number 33 Ferrari, because it had opened up a lead of a minute, over a minute.
And the good news is Thomas Jaeger's got new tyres, remember, and Berdo's on the second stint.
Second stint of his same set of tyres. Now, the way it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out is if the safety car picks up the leader, everybody will bunch up behind him.
Now, I'm going to offer, and I'm going to bow to the gentleman on my right, Mark Walker, because the tyre marks in the gravel were from the Seat and not from the Ferrari, which is left in the middle of the road. But that was the car that was tangled with by John Bow in the 88 car. Andrew Tester, part of the Midweek Motorsport Listeners Collective, who I finally got to shake his hand last night, thanks to everyone who turned out down at the Oxford for what was a very nice social evening between the Radio Le Mans and Midweek Motorsport Collective, or some of them at least.
I think we don't need to do that more often, John.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. He's up there and has tweeted at Radio Le Mans and at Specutainment to that effect. Andrew, thank you very much indeed, and thank you for your welcome to your part of the world. You live not so very far away from here, almost within walking distance, he said. Not today, you love cricket. So the John Bow car is being recovered onto one of these snazzy movable flatbeds that we've seen here on the mountain and have been pretty much adopted by all of the race cars and racetracks around the world over the last few years. Evidence of impact with something very bright red on that Seat, as into the pit lane comes the 16th position, number 48 GB galvanising Lamborghini.
Lambo that's already in the
He's already there, yeah. He drove straight in. It must have been. It was Rugolo that went in the 58 car from 30th position. Bright red machine. I saw something go past me and